Hello everyone, this is Jeannie Ellis, also known as Scrapbooking Mama, and today I'm making a pop-up 3D pop-up Christmas scene card using papers from Tailor Made Cards for You. I'll also be doing something with these, which is a new Christmas item in the shop. It's called Vintage Christmas Postcards, so I'll be making a card or two with these, and I will show you those at the end too. The promo sheet will be inside the video, so you'll be able to see what all these papers were that come with this. So I'm using this, and these papers, those three papers. So what I'm going to attempt to do is to put this card together. Now, there's no instructions that I've, was able to find except for a step-by-step, and sometimes I need to see a video rather than a step-by-step. But anyway, after cutting out my pieces for my layout for my card, I came up with, this is a wallpaper background basically, and then you have some cards or some boxes. Then you have some boxes that you have to fold, and this piece is on the outside of the card. So the first thing I'm going to do is, well, let me tell you, this was not easy for me to figure out, but I finally got it. As you can see, this is what it's going to look like standing up. It's going to have this piece and this piece popped up, which is some packages. And what I did is I kind of had to work it. You kind of have to do it without bending everything else that you don't want bent. And then I kind of pulled this piece out and this piece out as I went along. And the further I went, I just kind of worked with it. And then when I got to a point where I could really feel comfortable, see how this bends on the edge there? It kind of bends there. That's okay, because then you can get this to work right. And the same thing with this piece here. It will bend, but that's all right. It's better to bend it and curve it like that than to bend it with a crease. So my next step that I'm going to be doing is I am going to be putting on these little packages. Now they come with a little ribbon and a bow. The longest piece of these ribbons will go on the bigger package, which in this case is my red. So I am going to go ahead and put this red piece or green piece onto my box. Okay, so now we have one on, and on top of that would be, you could put the bow here, you could put the bow here. I don't remember where it was put on the picture, but I probably will put it there. But we're going to go ahead and work on the boxes first. So now I have those on there, and I am going to the picture to see what I need to do next on here. Okay, so they put their bows at the top here, but I'm going to wait until after I get it all basically all together. So what I'm going to do next is go ahead and put the wallpaper background on. All right, it's working. It's working. And it will fold down to fit into an envelope, a regular size envelope, which I think it's an A2. But see, now I can press it down and make it work even better. Okay, so the next step is for the bottom part of it. So here we go, putting this on. Okay, now it's time for me to put the tree on before I do anything else. Now, I do want to let you know that if you're using a single side sheet of paper, take your marker or something and color it up. As you can see there, I did that. And I went ahead and colored up the edges of the tree here. Now, it will show in the back a little bit, but that's, that's okay as far as that part goes. So the next thing I need to do is go ahead and set my tree on. Let me make sure where it goes. It looks like I just need to put an edge of glue here and maybe around the points of the bottom part. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, so the next step is going to be to work with these guys, and I will put the bows on, but I'll do that in a minute. Now, because it's single-sided paper, I decided to go ahead and color the inside. Now, this won't, it's not completely dry yet, but once it dries, it'll look fine, but as long as it looks good on the outside. So these just simply fold up, and there's a tab on the end. I'm going to take this, and I'm going to glue it down in here, and this is going to be my bottom, okay? So taking my glue once again, this works a lot like a hot glue, and it does get stringy too, so like hot glue. Okay, so now we need to put our ribbons on. So it goes again, the glue part of the box is going to go down the bottom. So I want to put them on before I actually put it onto the box itself, or to the card itself. So I'm just going to add some glue on here. All right, I'm going to let that dry for just a minute and clean off my fingers. Now, before I put these on, I need to put the back of the card on to hide all that. This is what it's going to be. It's going to be on this. I think there's only one direction this can go. Okay, I think we got it, by George. Okay, so now we have that going on. Now we can put on our presents. So this one's going down here at the bottom. Probably, let me see if I can look at my picture here. It kind of hides a little bit of the ribbon and that. So it's going to go right there. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and add my bows. Okay, for the most part, this card is done. I'm just going to let it dry some more, so that way I know it's good and dry, and I won't ruin it once I get it glued, and then I have to do it all over again. If I don't wait for it to dry, it may pull apart, and I don't want to do that. So now I could decorate the outside of this with one of these postcards, and I may do that. So I'm going to cut these out, and I will be right back. Okay, now the next card that I'm going to show you, and I'll show you the other one, the results of it toward the end here. But the next card I'm going to be doing is using the vintage postcards, Christmas postcards, or yeah, vintage postcards. There's two that are New Year's and two that are Christmas. I'm using the two that are Christmas. So I'm taking this piece of cardstock, which measures 9.5 by 6.5, folded in half, so it'll be 4 3/4 by 6.5. This is a craft cardstock, and I used a template to cut or embossing folder to just put a design here, and then I got a quilted pattern that I got from that I have in my stash. It's 4 1/4 by 6. So I have that piece, and then these pieces are just pieces that I cut already in the size that I needed out of that postcard paper. So I'm just going to basically just put them together. And I'll start, of course, with, now my fold's not real tight there, it doesn't look like, so I'm just going to tighten it up. And this is just a layering piece, and yet you come out with such a pretty card, and it's vintage looking because of the colors that I'm using with the postcard. I love the vintage paper. They look gorgeous. All right, now this has, it's just a 3D effect, so it's got a quilted pattern to it, and I just love that. Then I'm going to take this piece, which just measures the size width here, and I did this, let's see, I did the width of my quilted piece, and then the width of this piece was 1.25 inches. So I'm just taking it, because I want it on the next layer. Okay, so far so good. Now I could do this if I want to, but I like the looks of that one on the outside. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put this on first because it's going to go to the bottom, and I want to make sure I got enough room for it. So I'm just putting it in the center down the bottom gently. I'm not really adhering it too well yet. And then I want to check and see how far I have here. Yeah, that's good. And I forgot to mention, I went ahead and distressed all the edges using walnut stain and ink oxide walnut stain on all the edges, because that further gives it that distressed vintage look that I'm going for. And then we have this, simple but very pretty. And then for the inside, I'm going to place this as my greeting for my card. Now, a person could make these up, and I don't know for sure, but I think there's a certain size that you got to print them, but these are easy to resize. You have to print a certain size in order to be mailed, I believe. I would just check with the post office. But anyway, these could be enlarged and mailed easily. And there I have the inside of my card done, and I can put a piece here to decorate, which if I had it long enough, I would do it now, but I'll show you at the end there. But this is it, simply done. It's just layers upon layers, kind of like a sketch card if you wanted to do that. And then the inside greeting, and which says, "Come gather round the logs of Yule, let song and mirth and gladness rule. Be merry-hearted and of cheer, old Christmas comes but once a year." So true, and we need to think about it too. So, I now have 2 cards that I made using the vintage Christmas wrapping paper cardstock or digital papers, and I have this using the vintage postcards. So aren't they just so pretty? I just love these cards, and I've got the New Year's ones cut out. which these will probably be made into two separate cards. I hadn't decided yet, but they are so pretty. And then my puppet card, I just love it. It came out, and I did put a little star on it right here. I was trying to look in the video. So, all done, and there you have Christmas cards. Quick and easy to do. This one took a little bit more time to it because of the fact that I had to do all those folds and gluing, but it still wasn't hard to do. Just follow the tip that I gave you about, getting these to fold up. And then this was so easy and yet so elegant. And, I'm thinking about maybe putting, if I have some twine that's a burlap type or something, I may put it around here or on here, and then you'll see that at the end. But this is the basis for them, and they are just so pretty and such pretty papers. So be sure to join, check in the description box, join the monthly challenge for Crafter's Castle. Check out the tailor-made cards for you shop for these papers. I'll put a link below for where you can find all these. And you come back and watch the next video and have a great day. Many blessings. Bye for now.